I am, as you can tell, incredibly honored to receive this recognition as ENR's Newsmaker of the Year for 2024. As a young engineer coming out of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, straight out of San Bernardino, California, by the way, I came into my department, and one of the things that I always noticed was on the wall, framed, ENR magazine. LA County Public Works makes ENR magazine. It was a thing to behold. It was something to look up to. It was something that the brightest and deepest engineers of the time, these were men at the time, that I joined in 1987 to become part of the core of Los Angeles County Public Works, the largest public works agency in the United States with 154 special districts and lots of responsibility. All those engineers look at ENR as like the Holy Grail. You've made it if you've made ENR. Huh. If they could only see me now up here. I used to say they didn't know who they hired because I was the guy with equity and gender balance in mind. I was the guy that made it a 50-50 proposition for our recruiting for women in our organization, and I'm so proud of that today. So standing here among so many dedicated professional visionaries and leaders in the construction industry, it's just truly humbling. It's overwhelming. I didn't know how I was going to get up here. Of course, I want to express my deepest gratitude, as I said, to ENR and specifically to Scott Blair, who did an incredible job, right, on that. I mean, Hollywood couldn't have done it better, Scott. My goodness. Coming from Hollywood. I never looked so good, Scott. But you interviewed my mentors, and you interviewed people who are very, very special to me, and that's what is really overwhelming to me tonight, is to see those people talk about me that way. This is such a deep honor, and to my colleagues, mentors, and the teams I've had the privilege to work alongside, this recognition is not just about me, of course. It's about all the people you saw on the screen, not only public folks, but private, the private industry. Many of you in the room have joined us in really trying to change the face of Los Angeles County, to bring about a different Los Angeles County, one that focuses on equity, focuses on improving what was a poorly planned community, terribly planned community, awful planned community, with all of its pollution and all of its bad infrastructure for single focus. Many of you have been involved in the journey as we have changed it to a place that's built for human beings with equity. So thank you for those in the room that have worked with me on that, and the mentors who are in the room. Now, first and foremost, I want to thank my family. My wife, who's here, Kathleen, and our two sons, Liam and Jonathan. You know, we're a public service family. That usually means you give more than you get. I was not a public servant when I started this job, believe me. I was someone who didn't know what public service was. It took about 4 or 5 years to figure that out, but the person I married is most definitely a public servant, a great giver and caregiver, and a great professional woman, Kathleen, who, because of her unwavering support and patience and encouragement, has really been my foundation. Long days and late nights, and the sacrifices that come with a career in this field. We don't get paid a lot, folks. Would not have been possible without her love and understanding. I also have a great extended family here. My sister Leslie is here, and my brother-in-law Bob are here. And I want to thank them for taking the opportunity to come out and be proud of me. God knows I'm proud of them. And again, I also want to extend my deepest appreciation to my colleagues in both government and industry. I'm a pro-business person. I've modeled everything I've done off of you private industry people. You know why? I want government to be the best still. I believe poor people deserve the smartest people working for them. And the smartest people I know are in private industry. They're the risk takers. You're the risk takers. Tiny profit margins. Going for it. Taking that risk. Very American. And I just believe everyone deserves that kind of service. That's why I modeled our department after private industry. We created a corporate structure there with 5 business lines that are doing very well, by the way, all civil engineering. We call ourselves the emergency room of civil engineering, where anything can happen at any time. The difference with me was I decided that we would be on the offense instead of the defense. That we would, in fact, because we're supposed to, communicate what we know before it happens and do something about it in collaboration with all the other government agencies and private industry as partners. I'm talking about saving people's lives, improving people's lives, creating equity in our world by bringing our intelligence, our business savvy, and our collaborative approach to making life better for Los Angelinos. Whether it's policymakers working to improve infrastructure investment, industry leaders driving innovation, or the teams on the ground bringing projects to life, all of you play a crucial role in shaping the future of our built environment. Is that not true? Collaboration is the key. As you saw in the video, this is what they're giving me the award for. Deciding to put my toe inside the tent, even when people say government doesn't belong here. Collaboration between public and private sectors is essential to our success, and I am grateful to work alongside so many talented and dedicated individuals. Infrastructure is not just about steel and concrete. It's about people, engineers. It's about the humanities. It's about the communities we serve and the generations that will live with the decisions we make today. Now, for too long, yes, our poor design and short-sighted decisions have left so many communities burdened with pollution, job loss, and economic hardship, while others have reaped the benefits of progress. And the worst part that we discovered in our equity and infrastructure initiative is a lot of this was by design. A lot of this was by design. The reality is that infrastructure has consequences with good and bad, and those impacts last for generations. After 4 decades of working in this industry, in government, I have a right to say, we got a lot to correct. We, as engineers and designers and builders, cannot stay silent. We know the risk of climate change, don't we? We see the impact of failing infrastructure, and we understand the cost of inaction. Isn't it true that we have an ethical responsibility to speak up and to act? So happy that Senator Padilla, an engineer, is in Washington, D.C., speaking up and acting. The cost of doing nothing, as we all know, is far greater than the cost of building smarter. Every day we delay investing in resilient infrastructure, the price, both financial and human, only grows. We see it, I see it, in communities displaced by flooding, by fire, by warming and heating of our environment. It affects all of what we build with. And more importantly, it affects the daily lives of an average citizen. Do you know that citizens in Los Angeles County have to find cooling centers by riding the bus? Because they're prohibited from standing in the mall shopping center. That's our HVAC that's not in their homes. We hold the power, all of us, to change that story. We can design and we can build infrastructure that is sustainable, equitable, and forward-thinking. We can ensure that community is left behind, that no community is left behind, that every investment considers long-term impacts, and that we leave behind a legacy of progress and not regret. Do you go to bed at night like I do and wonder who doesn't have the benefit of smart design? But more importantly, how long it takes them to get to fresh vegetables? Or who doesn't understand the risk of living where they live, because that's just the way it is. This is my challenge to all of you. We must lead. All of you are a part of this, because we are professionals in this business, and we have an ethical duty to say what we know and act on it. It is in your backyard. For those that don't understand this or don't have the empathy that a public servant of 40 years know, it's a good business investment. It's a good business investment. After all, Rome, they didn't build Rome in one day. What happened to the Roman Empire? It failed under itself. We can build all the fences we want around our communities. We can build the best infrastructure for the people who have the most. And I guarantee you, it would all fall on itself. And those of us that live in the Palisades area of Los Angeles County will wake up someday and say, how did this happen to me? How did this happen to me? Those of you that know Los Angeles County know what I'm talking about. And those of us that woke up in Altadena woke up and said, I guess this just happens to me. My whole goal is for that playing field be leveled by engineers, builders, and constructors who have the ethical responsibility, knowing what we know, to speak about what we know. Let's push for policy investment that prioritizes sustainability and equity for our children. For our children. Let's mentor the next generation, ensuring they understand the weight of decisions they will make. Let's teach our children to be kind. Let's teach them to use their skills to help others. Let's innovate boldly, finding new ways to build cleaner, safer, and more efficiency. It's already here. It's already here. Doesn't everyone deserve it? It's already here. Most importantly, let's remember that our work is about people, not just the ones who sign contracts or cut ribbons like my bosses, but the families who breathe the air, drink the water, and depend on roads, bridges, and buildings we all create. The work we do matters. That's why I'm crying at the table. It shapes skylines, it connects people, it creates legacies that outlive every one of us. We are not just builders, we are stewards of the future. And the future is unwritten. The future is unwritten. I'm deeply grateful. I am deeply grateful, everyone, for this honor. I am deeply grateful. But more than that, I am so thankful that I could stand up here and preach to you tonight and be inspired by what we can achieve together. So we have a lot of work to do, huh? My Hawaiian grandmother would say. Let's build a better future. One project, one innovation, one leader at a time. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for this honor, ENR.